So do not move on to 2022 without letting go of something significant, an old idea, a label, a habit, a negative thought from 2021, and let go to free up that white space for something new to enter. Something new is coming. So today we do the white stone ceremony, and something that I like to do in that same service is a letter from God to us, to each of us. So you should have a packet of information. You should have an envelope, and in that envelope you have a card that has the 5 unity basic principles in it for you to take with you. You have a little piece of flash paper, very special paper that we will write our release information on when we get to that point. And then we will burn it. And you have a big piece of paper, and this is for the letter from God. So you have all of those things. One of the things that I will tell you that are out in the hall, or in that circle room, what do we call that room? Where the food lays and wait for us. Our community room. Not in the fellowship room, but there's a basket out there that has white stones. And several weeks back, we did the white stone ceremony at the beginning of January. And Reverend Larry has brought the stones for us. So make sure that if you were here for that service and you want to write your new name for 2022 on the stone, pick up one and write on it, just so we remember. All of this is for our memory, to help us remember what is important and remember ways to do things, to remember things, so that we can release and that we can go about writing on that white space in our hearts. Last Sunday, Reverend Larry talked to us about part 2 of The Untethered Soul, the book that we're reading in our book study. And what struck me most about that particular part that we read last week was how much I was reminded of the 5 basic spiritual principles of unity. Unity students, and this is the little card that has the principles on that, so you might want to pull that out so you can look at that with me. This Unity students learn 5 basic spiritual principles to use in our living so that we can experience the highest and best that it's possible for us. As we focus on these ideas, these thoughts, it helps to bring our thoughts and feelings into alignment with that one power and one presence in the universe. So let's just take a quick look at these principles as they appear on the card. The first one is God is. God exists. God is. God is alive. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent. And we, Unity, takes that statement as our declaration of faith. We believe in that one power, that one presence in all of the universe, and that power is good. The second one is that each of us is the I am part, I am. Each of us have a spark of that divine in us. It is called the Christ, and our very essence is of God. And as God is divinely good, then we inherit that, and we are inherently good. The third one is I create. We create our own reality by the activity of our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. what we think about, what we put our energy into, our feelings behind, what we believe and carry with us, that's what comes about. So it's very important for us to monitor and notice what kinds of things we're thinking. What is our self-talk saying to us? And that was one of the things that we studied in that session last week, part 2 of the Untethered Soul, was what about that voice that is within us? How strong is that? And is that carrying the message that we want to hear? And if not, how do we find the voice that we want to hear that's going to make a difference in our lives? The fourth principle is about prayer and meditation. Through prayer and meditation, we align our heart and mind with God. Denials and affirmations are tools that we use to focus on truth. We focus our belief by saying affirmations, statements of truth. And denials are just denying that what is not true has any power over us. And the fifth, the last principle is I live it. Knowing and understanding the laws of life is good, is very good. But it is not enough. With our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, we must live the truth that we know. So it's about putting it into action, putting it into practice. And so today, yes. So today we're going to look at that third principle. We create our own reality by the activity of our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs. You know, our thoughts and our feelings and our belief form filters of perception. These are like the filters that we wear over our eyes, over all of our senses that take in information about the world around us. They determine how we observe what is happening in the world around us, as well as how we interpret that. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is there anything I can do about this? Sometimes we use our understanding of the third principle, that what we focus on, focus our energy on, is what comes about. We focus our imagination, use our imagination to visualize what it will feel like, what it will look like, what it will taste like, once we have accomplished some good thing. Other times we allow our habits, our day-to-day habits, our fears, our worries, our ego desires, to direct the focus of our energy, creating unhappy results. We build blockages, and blockages was one of the things that we talked about last week. We build blockages against our good, so it stops us from receiving our good because of the thoughts that we carry. And we can also use these principles to release what no longer serves us, and thereby changing our thinking. And that's very powerful. And that's what we're going to do today. So what is blocking my release today? Does that voice inside me tell me I can't release it? I can't let this go. This is something that I have to carry close to my heart, and I have to pay attention to this? Or does the voice inside of me say, I don't have a choice? There is no choice but to do this. Or does that voice inside of me say, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to let it go and make sure that it's gone. Well, as Michael got sang in his song this morning, there was a time in my life. There was a time in my life when I thought I had to do it all myself. I've been there. And I had heard about the grace of God helping people, but did I believe that for myself? Not so much. There was a time. The time was 1972. And I was a newly divorced single mom with 2 children, ages 6 and 4. I was blessed with a job. I was teaching junior high math at a nearby school in a low-income area just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And it was not easy. It was not easy, because you do know that math is a 4-letter word. I was incredibly stressed, financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. My mind would take me into dark places, and I could not see my way out. And there seemed to be no light at the end of this tunnel. I did have one friend who was with the Disciples of Christ Church, who fed my heart and my mind with thoughts and words of the goodness of God and the love of God. But I couldn't trust it for me. I couldn't trust it for me. And then one dark night, we all have those dark nights. One dark night, I realized that it was my belief that I couldn't that was holding me back. And so with one spark of trust for that God the good, I let go of lack thinking and belief that I am not enough. And I'm getting tingles all over. And my perception of my life began to change. Releasing and forgiving those thoughts and feelings about myself allowed me, over time, to experience myself in new, healthier, happier, more prosperous, and more courageous ways. I got here. I got here. I can now appreciate those people who helped me set those key memory lessons into place. Sandra calls those people our teachers. And I'm grateful for what I have learned, and now I see in a different light what I believe comes about. That I believe totally different than I believed in 1972. And trusting God the good led me and fed me and connected me with the world of unity. And I am grateful for that first person experience with the one power and one presence in all of my life and all of the world. So, the burning bowl is a powerful way to release old thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. It starts the process on a metaphysical level to create a clear space in mind and in heart, to stop playing the old recorded messages and allow a new, freer version of myself to express. The burning bowl is can remove emotional mental blocks in a symbolic way. It allows us to cleanse and reboot our thinking and eliminate virus thinking. I call the burning bowl an active meditation. It's not one where you sit there quietly and listen to someone speak words into your mind, but it is something that you actively participate in. And so it's a little different, but it's very easy And it's very fulfilling to be able to participate with my own creation, my own thinking, and my own things that I want to release. So I invite you to go within to that quiet place, to that safe place where we can open our heart and our mind to the presence of Spirit. In silence, we declare a sacred space for the work that we are about to do. So if you'll take your little piece of paper, this is the release piece of paper, and your pen into your lap, and allow your body to relax as you feel the seat support you. Breathe easily and deeply, going in to reach and touch that one power within for the guidance that we need on how to proceed with this. You know, it takes a lot of energy to hold a memory of a mistake or fears that are hidden in your heart, in your mind. And it's now time to let them go. And so let the ideas for release come to you now in an uncomplicated, a free, easy way, not trying to force them to come up. Just let them come to you. And as they do, slowly open your eyes and write them on your paper. Now, this is a tiny piece of paper, which is not limiting you in any way. It's just to tell you that you don't have to write full sentences. You just make little notes, or maybe draw a picture of what it is that you want to release. And pay attention to what it is that you're about to release. And how you feel about that, whether you feel like you can do that. And then just write them on your piece of paper. So let's do that. Stop writing. Is that not working either? This bowl is the bowl that I use for the burning bowl. This was my grandmother's crystal bowl. And so when I bring that to a time that we're celebrating this, and it appears over and over and over again, I feel like it adds power to what it is that we do, because it really makes it a ritual. It makes it something that we do the same over and over again. So this is the bowl. And the fire that we will light is a symbol of transformation. The fire takes the paper, this paper that we've just written on, and it changes it from one form to another. Likewise, in our lives, we take old ideas, blocks, fears, old hurts, mistakes, and release them through the fire. The burning fire will release our attachment to the old ways. And it frees up our personal power to work in our lives in an easier and more constructive way. If you are not presently in the room, in the building with the rest of us to burn your releases, your papers of releases, this message is especially for you. When you finish with your writing on a piece of paper, you may shred it, you may cut it with scissors and place the pieces either in the trash or take them outside to be burned carefully. These papers are flash papers, magic flash paper. And so when they are burned, there is no ash and there is no smoke. So we don't want you burning this in your house. Please take it outside or just, cut it up, shred it, put it in the trash. So let us come and put our release papers in the bowl. And if you just come up, bring your paper, put it in the bowl. The bowl likes to hang to the side of the paper. So, thank you. Oh, they're behaving nicely today. Well, there you go.
It was like I wanted to get like 3 dozen pieces of this stuff. But instead I wrote really tiny on one and that one somebody else's.
Ah.
Boy, it doesn't want to let go.
No, it doesn't like to let go at all. Ah. All right. Very good. So I have an affirmation for us as we light this fire. Easily, gracefully, I release the past so that I am free in this moment for all that is possible to be. Gracefully, easily, I release the past so that I am free in this moment for all that is possible to be. And now I will light the fire of transformation in a second. What? Isn't that amazing? So how does that feel? Yeah, that is so symbolic of just gone. That is just, so we breathe now and we are free from those things that we have carried. We have chosen to release those things that no longer serve us. We breathe, we stretch, and we smile. So turn around and smile at one another as we celebrate this time together. And we be open now, open to the good that will enter into our experience. There is space now within us for good. I thought it was so interesting. We had lots of conversations about the fact that we had snow on the day that we were supposed to do this in December, because usually we do the burning bowl at the end of December, and then we do the white stone, thank you. We do the white stone later, sometimes around the first of the year. I like to do it in the middle of the summer so that you have some balance in the year and have time for this letter from God to settle in, and you really see how it has worked in your life. So we are going to do the letter from God. That is on this big piece of paper. So take this large sheet of paper and the envelope and bring that to your lap with your pen, a working pen. Do you need a working pen still? Or you have one? Ruth, you have a pen that works? Now you do. Okay. Okay. Okay, so when something is no longer useful, is released in our lives, we need to fill that space. We need to fill it with something that is whole and perfect and good. So today, from our place of conscious connection with the one God, we will allow thoughts and ideas, communication to flow to us from source. We will write a letter from God to ourselves, a letter of love, a letter of guidance for our next step. Because God knows what our next step is. A letter from God can be a prayer in its truest sense, allowing us to open our minds and hearts to a deeper contact with our divine self. Eric Butterworth, a Unity minister and author, gave us helpful guidance in the process of writing such a letter from God. And he counsels, prayer is not something we do to God. It's not a ceremony we perform for God. It is an experience of our own God potential. We do not really pray to God. Rather, we pray from a consciousness of God. We go into a place of consciousness, a connection, of a knowing of the presence of God, experiencing that presence of God. And that's when we talk. That's when that prayer is self-realization, self-expansion, and it's getting recentered within and reestablishing ourselves in the flow of infinite creative process. So take these few minutes to allow Spirit to move through you and write you a love letter of support and guidance for where you are right now in your life and your next step. And when you're finished with your letter, fold it, place it in the envelope, and then address that envelope to yourself and seal it. Thank you. And if you borrowed a pencil or a pen, you can put that in the offering plate when that comes by. But if you give me these letters, I take them home. I have a special place in my house that I keep them. And then in the summer, about 5 months from now, July, is when I usually return them. And it's always so amazing to see what God says to us in January and how that shows up in our life, how that's showed up in our life over across those months when we read the letter again and feel the warmth and the support that's there for us. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, seal it because nobody will see this. Yeah, I'm the only one. Nobody will see this until you get it back. Did you write one? Okay. I know where it's coming from. There you go. Yes, just your name is fine. And for those of you who are at home, if you want to include your letters in this stash, then then bring them next Sunday and give them to me, and I'll take them home and put them with the rest of them, or send them to me, whatever. Any of that's good. So I think I have everybody. I don't have yours. All right. This summer, when we get our letters back, it will be delivered to you, and you will have the joy then of remembering the special message that God has given you this day. And this ends our time of active meditation. I thank you all for participating and look forward to sharing this activity with you again. And now we will hear Richard Green sing to us, "Create in Me a Clean Heart."